Hey guys, welcome again to another episode of our interviews with our frontline workers. And today is very special. I think I went on from EMTs, medical dispatchers, I went on to the offshore medics, but now I am here with the only two people, myself and my guest today, Ms. Amali Sensi, that we are on the search and rescue team that is functioning in or under the Bristol Caribbean Limited at Piaco. Now, I usually like, as always, to let the guests, when they come on, that they can introduce themselves and let you all know who they are, a little bit about them. Once that starts and we get that over and done with, we're gonna head down to some questions. Now, before I let Amali introduce herself, please know that it's only two of us and I cannot interview myself. So Amali and we're gonna kind of throw questions at each other about COVID, about our journeys in EMS and so forth. So yeah, Amali, introduce yourself. Welcome. Thanks for being here with Life Cycle 360.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Good afternoon, everyone. As Denise said, I am Amali Sensi. Where do I start? Okay, where I always love to start. I'm a mother of two boys, very, very proud of that.
Right.
And as Denise would know, and most people, I'm very passionate about what I do. I have a serious love for EMS, yeah? I've been in EMS since 2005, and I must add that EMS has been good to me.
Good, yeah.
It's really, really delightful being here. I've been following all of your other sessions, and they have been very enlightening, and I want to congratulate you for, this initiative.
Yeah, thank you. That's all? Anything else? What about?
I don't know. I don't know what questions you have for me, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we'll start with the first one. So we'll get down to business. I also want to say, like my last interview that I did with the offshore paramedics, I've had so much history with those guys. And also with you, I've had history with you as well, because we worked together for a very long time, in and out, our friendship started very, was the word, tumultuously, but it ended up kind of panning out. And it has had a lot of bumps in the road, but I think it all has brought us back. Look, we're working again together. The only thing we're not doing is actually working as a team, which we were doing in years before in the private sector in oil and gas. But we're working back to back because I'm at home right now and you are able to be on duty and able to facilitate this call because of your job at the moment. So my first question to you would be, when you started your career in EMS, what would you have imagined being, as you're now in this position? You're only one of two search and rescue flight paramedics in the region and not just Trinidad. What are your thoughts on your journey? How did you get here? Did you think, starting EMS so much years ago? How long in EMS? Share your journey and your thoughts on that.
Wow.
Yeah.
My journey has been good. Let me put it like that. For a lot of people that don't know and think it came very easy to me, when I first applied to EHS at that point in time, I was not accepted.
Oh, really?
I applied another time and I was not accepted. I was not accepted twice. Yeah.
Wow. And, so long I know you and I don't even know that. That's okay. So I learned something.
Yeah. And I thank God for persistence. I have, I should say, some really, really good foundation friends within the field itself. And what I also have to thank God for is his blessings and his favor. and also my work ethics. I think that is what has taken me as far as I am right now. Again, starting off doing the courses just to get into the field. I got into the field. I didn't spend much time in the public sector. I got into the private sector, and it was just progression. And I want to thank God again, and for the people that are in my life, for the guidance that they have provided. I was placed in a lot of situations, and I never said no. When the challenges came, because of course we know in EMS there are lots and lots of challenges. When the challenges came, when the opportunities came, I was never a no or I can't type of person. I always know that there is always, once there is a will, there is a way to get to where you want to go to.
Right.
So yeah, I started off as an EMT. Then I went into doing some teaching with ETITT, started doing, little practicals and stuff. And then I did my EMS instructor course. I became an instructor, went on to, paramedicine, became a paramedic. We had a stick offshore for a while. As Denise knows, we did a lot of stuff in hospital stuff, transfers. We also had a nice little bout with the ministry, with dignitaries when presidents and stuff came into the country.
Right. Yes.
I remember that time when it was when Michael Jackson died and his funeral. We were up in Hyatt with doctors and nurses and stuff, and everybody crying for the funeral.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, so we had some really
Michael
nice,
Jackson was their buddy.
Experiences. Yeah, we had some really nice experiences. From the paramedicine, went on to teaching full time, and then did the critical care in Nebraska, came back home, and the opportunity to do SAR in Guyana came. Went over there, did the SAR, came back home, and we opened up in Trinidad, right? The medical arm of it. So that's it, and that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, how long has that journey been?
Like I said, I started off in like 2005.
Okay.
And 2021 now, yeah.
Right, yeah. So much experience gained and knowledge and so much to share now, I guess.
Yep.
So are you doing anything else for EMS in terms of, I know there's, you just started recently the First Responders Association of Trinidad and Tobago. You want to just share a little bit about that?
All right, great. So the First Responder Association of Trinidad and Tobago, it's not only geared towards the medical arm of first responder, first response. It is geared towards all first responders in Trinidad and Tobago. And it came about with me just sitting and thinking in the pandemic, how much we do as first responders. We have fire, we have lifeguards, we have safety officers, we have prison officers, we have, name it. Coast Guard, Air Guard, all these people. And one thing that I noticed is that when they talk about frontline workers and first responders, they talk a lot about just the nurses and the doctors and those allied persons in hospitals. And they forget about us in the field who function in the most unsafe or insecure type environments, and we're not really recognized. Not recognized in the sense that a lot of things go on. We're exposed to a lot of traumas, and there is nothing in place to remedize that. So that's where the First Responder Association came about as an advocacy group to fight for things that is good. Note, it's not a union or anything, it's just an advocacy, advocacy group that is going to be fighting for the wellness of first responder. Okay. Apart from that, I'm also on the EMS Council.
Wow, so much things happening, a lot
of things happening, and I want to thank God for that.
Yeah. So
the EMS Council of Trinidad and Tobago, who's really responsible for the personnel, the board itself, which is all EMS personnel in Trinidad and Tobago. I am the secretary, treasurer, registrar for the council. And I'm really happy to say that there are a lot of really awesome things that's going to be happening for EMS in Trinidad soon.
Oh, good. So I look forward to that. That's
Mhm.
awesome. Glad that you're sharing that with us because it's good to keep everybody in the know of what's happening. And, that EMS, we are still trying to fight and keep this profession alive and growing and evolving,
That's right.
All
So
right.
I have a question for you, ma'am.
All right. Yes. Let me hear
Oh,
the
yeah.
question.
You're alone not asking questions.
I forget. I was like going to number 2 already.
All right. So what changes have you seen in EMS since you started compared to where we are now? What have you seen?
So I think what I've seen so far is I've seen a lot more diversity in the sense that and that came about because of ETITT. There's a lot more persons aware of what EMS is about in terms of the different services. We were able to have classes with military, police, fire, and as well as the vast majority of how much persons that we were able to train from the public sector. So I think because of that, people are aware of the different levels and what each one does, and wanting to pursue that rather than think of us as just ambulance drivers. Now, there's still people out there think that, right? But I think since when I started to now, it has grown. We have a lot of persons who have I think gained so much knowledge, and not just knowledge, but experience that is able to continue to change that perception in people's eyes about who we are and our function. And for me, I think is a lot of growth, but still so much more could happen,
Definitely.
So I don't know, I like it, but I just think we could have done so much more. But at least there's no stagnation. There's still some progress taking place, and that's one of the reasons for me starting Life Cycle 360, because I wanted to start with the foundation of persons who are to initiate the call if an emergency happens. So we get somewhere, and if we all take the responsibility and do our part and not just look at it as a way of, hey, I wanna get a job, I wanna make some money, but this is so much more. We could make a difference. I think it's so much more to come going down in the future.
Oh yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I handle that good. Yeah.
Spot on, sister. Spot on.
All right. So my next one, right? So we're going on to COVID because it's here, and
Right.
It has been one of the main topics that I've been talking about with persons in the interviews. And so my COVID question for you would be, how has the COVID pandemic affected you and your functionality as a search and rescue paramedic?
How was COVID? I wouldn't say it has affected me drastically. What it has affected is the way we would respond. Yeah.
Right.
Because again, COVID isn't going anywhere. I know a lot of people talking about what you'll do after COVID. COVID ain't going a place.
Yes.
Yeah. So we just have to learn how to deal with it. And that's the beautiful thing about people. We were made to be able to adapt. So getting to that on our job, we have learned to adapt. So usually we used to have to go to the office and stuff. We don't do that anymore. We do a lot of, virtual stuff. With regards to our patients, we treat everybody as they have COVID. Yeah. As we know in EMS, you protect yourself and you protect your patient from what you have. You protect yourself from what the patient may have. So it doesn't matter what call we're going on now. We wear full PPE just to protect ourselves because our team is a very, very small team, a very small specialized team. And because of how integrated everything is, it's easy. And then added to that, we operate in a very close and small type environment. Our office is a helicopter.
Yeah.
This is an aircraft.
I wanna put a pin in that before you go on. Can you just explain that team, who it is, what it is about? Because we know we say search and rescue, but you could just expatiate a little bit for people who may not know what that team consists of.
Okay. So that team consists of, as I said, some very specialized individuals. So we have specialized pilots who are captains, who are trained to do certain types of maneuver with the aircraft, so that we can get to do what we have to do, which is doing search and rescues, right? Searches and rescues. We are in an island, we live on an island, so I want to talk in general. I don't want to talk specifically to what we do. We're going to talk in general, right?
General, yeah.
So in general, a search and rescue team would go in search of persons who are probably lost or in distress, yeah? So it could be land or sea. So this team is trained in the event that the aircraft cannot land, the crewman, which is a hoist operator, a rescue specialist, and the medics who are critically trained, they can exit the aircraft without its landing. So we have specific training. Again, the persons who work in the back with the medics, everybody is trained in first aid so they can lend a hand. Yeah, we can do rescues whether the aircraft has landed or not, to get our patient, retrieve the patient and get them to the hospital. So that's as basic as I could explain it.
Yeah, sorry for stopping you in what you were explaining, but
no problem,
it's so important that everybody knows, because me and you, we know what it means, but
it definitely,
it's just to help people.
So many people looking on that will not understand.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember what you was talking about.
What was I speaking about?
Yeah, so forget
it. You and I just go down our line and
just go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
But I think it was COVID.
Oh right. Yes, COVID.
Yes.
COVID. Yeah. So we're talking about the COVID. So in our response, we wear our full PPE, everybody, to go for patients, and then of course we do our decontaminations and all of that process. Yeah. With regards to being a paramedic in Trinidad and Tobago with COVID right now, I think what the Ministry of Health has done is really, really good for us. What they have done, some may ask, is that they requested paramedics and vets and some other doctors who do not work directly in the hospital setting in general medicine to come and assist.
Right.
And that has done wonders for us with regards to recognition, because there are a lot of people, unless you're involved in pre-hospital medicine, you don't know how much we can do. Yeah. So I think the pandemic has really done a lot for us with regards to recognition. With regards to patient care, you have to be so cautious, because there are a lot of interventions that you would normally do that you have to be so meticulous of doing. Our protocols have been tweaked to address and to keep us safe, certain things. That's basically it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't think...
ask me one? I need to ask you one.
Yeah, but I just was thinking, I think for us, sometimes we don't do only rescues, there's like medivacs. And I think that is where the COVID, I think if it has anything to affect us, was doing those medivacs. So the hazmat, the protection is something, and being in the back of an aircraft and helicopter, it's so limited to be able to do what, like, compared to the back of an ambulance, it's so limited. And I think with COVID and having the hazmats and all of those things, it has really allowed us to even, I think, improve our ability to function with the hazmat suits on in that small space. I mean, sweating on the place, having to move around. So it to me is another level that kind of just up on us in terms of being able to adapt to the environment that we're in. So I just wanted to add to that.
Yeah.
in
And then a
terms
big,
of,
big channel, a big challenge that we have that a lot of people don't know and understand is when you're in the back of an aircraft, it's very noisy. You have to wear
oh
air
yeah,
protection. So that means of communication.
is yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have to figure
So
out some way to communicate with your
it
patient.
takes me to a point that is very important for all of us as EMS professional, which is the handover process. You know, when we're handing over a patient, it's so important that you do a proper handover and your documentation is really, really on point, because given our type of scenario, what type of where we function, if we don't get a proper handover the patient, and the patient is, let's say the patient is conscious, patient can't tell us anything that we could hear that is useful.
Yeah,
So getting a
exactly.
proper handover, and even if the handover is limited, having proper documentation
Yes.
is very, very important.
Yes, that is something. I'm glad you bring that up, because there is now, once we take that patient into that aircraft, as you said, the limitation to communicate is so, or we can't really communicate unless we write down something. And who has time to write if there's an emergency you have to attend to? So it's so important that you take that time from the handover, wherever it is you're getting, from whoever it is. It's so important, because I mean, it's life and death, right?
It is. It is.
Yeah. All right. So
is it my turn?
Right. Yeah. Your question now. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
So my question to you.
Oh gosh.
Let me get it. Oh my God. I'm so excited to ask you this question. I can't find it.
Good.
So Ms. King, have there been times that you thought about walking away from EMS? And if so, can you relate a specific time and what counteracted your decision to stay? Because it's still here.
Yes, I am. Yeah. All right. So loaded question number one, like a loaded baked potato, but I could handle it. I could handle this question.
Yeah.
So the first question, the first thing you ask him is if
have there been times that you ever thought about walking away?
Right. No, there were times when I got frustrated with the series of events that was taking place around me, in front of me. I got frustrated with the system. I got frustration with management. But what kept me from staying in EMS is I really love it. I don't like to be in a routine of 8 to 4. I love dynamic. I love meeting people. I love helping people. And I think, you know, going through your early after school and trying to figure out life and what you wanted to do, I tried getting into nursing because my mother had diabetes and I had to take care of her before she died. So I was kind of already prepping for, you know, managing somebody who needs help. But I tried to get in nursing in England. So that was like the first thing, but that crashed, that never happened. And you do other things and there's just no, you feel like, to go to work again. You know, it's like, but I would never forget, like when I saw the left-hand drive when it was EHS, because I started in 2003. I would never forget. I saw that left-hand drive, and I was like almost something magnetized. Yeah, you're gonna try. I want to, like I want to be in that. You know, and I think it was just like a calling that came onto me. I knew I always wanted to help people, and I knew I wanted to be in the health or health care, some sort of health care. And I thought it was nursing, but when I saw that, I was like, nah, boy, this is for me. And I never turned back because there's something that every time I help somebody, that brings me joy, that brings me, and even educating somebody, because even with the teaching part, leaving somebody more equipped to do, like, you know, making them better. I think that's one of the reasons that I'm here on this earth. So with the systems and all the madness and the frustration that I've been going through throughout the years in EMS, that is what has kept me. And it also made me, I think, stronger and more resilient. And it helped me to adapt to, I have to have a plan B, because, in my offshore days, with the frustration that I felt coming to the end just before I left, I had a conversation with my brother, and he's like, you need to make sure that you balance your life. Your work is not the all and all. And he said, when you come home, make sure you enjoy your time home. When you go offshore, you do what you have to do. And it helped me to form Life Cycle 360, because I saw, hey, you could do something else besides just work and home and have so much function or concentration on work, and where you feel so stressed and frustrated, like you want to be there, but you want to go home fast. And that balance helped me to continue to do and be in EMS and look to see what I can do to help in EMS. And that has changed my whole concept.
Yep. Yep.
I think this is it for me until I say, you know what, I'm done, and I just maybe want to focus on the business. But for me, I'm enjoying every step, and every step has been progression, has been,
Yes.
I would say, evolving, because I'm learning so much more every step of the way. And that is needed. Growth is needed for you to be able to appreciate your profession. Your management can't make you feel good, or that is something that you have to do for yourself.
That's your responsibility. That's
exactly.
Your responsibility.
Yeah. No amount of money gonna make you feel good, because you're just gonna get up in more debt, and your cost of living going up, and then you want more money. So that's
a spiral domino effect.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think so. That's why I'm still here, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now. You know what I mean?
Good. I think that balance is important.
Yes.
And like I would always tell people, a very important part, or something that's very important to do in this field, is to teach, because the more you teach, the more you learn.
True.
And because this is a service type environment, a service profession, you're serving people, it's important that you not only do that one thing, the job that you're doing. You need to serve yourself too. So it is your responsibility to keep that balance. Be it whatever you like. Like I got into something called quilling.
What is that?
Everybody, that's the general response I get. Quilling. Go up on Google, Dr. Google, and you'll get it.
Where you're meeting people and
things? A nice, intricate type of work with people. And that's
paper.
It's therapeutic to me. I'll show you what it is.
Okay.
So you just have to find something that you like, and just spend a little bit of time in it. Yeah. And it's also important for you to invest in yourself. I believe in preparation. If you're not prepared for something, I don't think you're gonna get to it. Yeah. So preparation is very, very important. I remember before EMS, I did broadcasting, I did sound engineering, I did all sorts of stuff. And people are like, why are you doing all these things? And would you believe all of those things are very integral part of what I do right now? Because of the broadcasting, I'm able to speak in front of people, articulate what I want, pronunciate properly, and all of those things. My customer service type background, I'm able to meet and greet with people. And so a lot of things that you've done in the past, it prepares you for where you're at. Yeah. That's how I feel.
I think so. And I think parents today, because I went through that, you had to get a job and find something to do. And we don't allow, everybody's circumstance is different, but, we try to box in young persons coming up. What are you doing with your life? And sometimes they have to go through those things, and they will reach the point where, like, I get it. This is what I want to do. But sometimes there's no opportunity, sometimes more responsibility comes up and they just end up doing something that they have to do for the rest of their life, and they're not, that happiness and that joy is never there.
Yep. Yep.
Right. Okay, we're real talking. Let me see. This is the last one. Here's the last question. All right.
Oh, what's the last question?
If you could go back in time and meet your younger Molly, what advice would you give her about becoming part of EMS? What would you tell her?
Lord have mercy. What would I tell younger Molly about being a part of EMS? Don't give up. And like how the story started in the beginning, I told you, about the challenges initially. I would also tell her, don't be so serious. Because I'm still serious, yes. But don't be so serious and don't take things so personal. Have fun doing whatever you want to do.
Right.
It's okay to not be okay, because at a point in time, and a lot of us get that in EMS, that we have to be strong and we have to be resilient all the time. And if you get a really difficult call, you can't make it show, and you have to be able to function.
Yeah.
I'm sure I told you, and I tell a lot of my students about that day that I lost 2 pediatrics by drowning.
I
One
remember
was
that.
In the morning.
That was down in Guaya.
Guaya, yeah. One was in Indian Bay, a 4-year-old little boy at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And 10 o'clock in Beachfield, we lost, I think she was about 12, and it was a twin. One got into difficulties in the water. And both of them happened in one day, in the space of 4 or 5 hours. And I remember, I'm a mother, I remember in the evening after, I started to get some serious belly pains. And because I know myself that well, I knew that was how I dealt with stress. My belly starts to hurt. I get that kind of griping sensation. And it bugged me for a while, because at that point in time, I didn't have a supervisor or a management team that was in tune with the things of EMS. They were just running a business, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And some of us are caught in that type of cycle that, we know that this is our job, this is what we're being paid to do, so we have to do the job.
Yeah.
And we forget about our mental health and our emotional aspect of everything. And yeah, I would just tell her, continue doing what's right. Everything will work out. I'll just be really, really soft on myself.
Not hard. You'll be soft.
No, I'll be soft.
All right, good. And I think that is a wrap. I think we kind of covered all the challenges that we may be experiencing now and from our journey in EMS and presently as our search and rescue paramedics. So Molly, I want to say thanks for spending this time with me and sharing your story and asking me those tough questions too. It was good. And hopefully it would be not the end or the last one that we're doing. We may have more coming. But this is just awesome that we could chat about this. So thanks again.
Could I say thank you for having the vision on the knees. Thank you for at least giving us EMS persons something to look forward to. I think we're very, very segregated for a number of reasons. And this little initiative of yours has really kind of brought us together. Let us just see different aspects of EMS. And it has also given us some recognition. So thank you so much for your vision and all the best.
All right. Well, thank you. And I welcome that feedback from you. I really appreciate that. And guys, don't forget, this video is really for all of us in EMS, as Amali is saying. So please share and know that we are all in this together. The ones who have been in this for a longer time and the ones who are now coming in, we're not apart. We've gone through the same things, and probably you all are going through worse things than us, but we all here in this together. So it was my pleasure having you, Amali, and for everybody looking on, thank you for viewing. And stay tuned for the next video. All right, Amali, I'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.